Hey everyone, and welcome to a special alt history Christmas video. Today I'm going to talk about what if Santa was really real, and just overall have a fun fantasy video, so kind of bear with me on the setup here. In the mid-1800s, seeing the rise of Santa Claus in the American cultural space and the success of William Walker had setting up pseudo-republics in Latin America, a man by the name Samuel Jones would try and set up his own Santa Nation. He traveled the globe with a few enterprising sponsoring partners to find a suitable spot. Nepal, Tierra del Fuego, Sakhalin, and Iceland were all visited, in the end deciding to set up shop on the frozen, desolate wasteland of Svalbard. With a location found, they needed workers, food, and resources. For food, they had agreed of shipments of grain from the Americans, as well as shipments of lumber as well for their resources. With a steel mill set up in nearby Sweden, this would be the foundation of their industry. With food and resources secured, all the group had left to find were their workers. And what workers did they think would be the best people to be Santa's little elves? Well, that would be the Nepalis, as they were accustomed to the cold, and along their travels they had met up with them and they felt that they would be a perfect fit. Over the first few years, setup was very difficult. Many elves were lost due to harsh conditions and aggressive timetables. After 5 years, Santa's workshop would be finished and export cheap children's gifts. This would go on for decades until the island ran into trouble with labor conditions of its workers. After this, Santa had to set up a global public relations teams and partnering with the likes of Coca-Cola, Nestle, and General Motors. After partnering with these companies to create and launch a global ad campaign, faking how wonderful Santa's workshop really was. After those shiny ads displaying how happy the Nepali elves were making gifts for children around the world, much of the public would forget whatever happened on the island. Just parents happy to get chief's gifts for their children. Meanwhile, on the island, labor conditions could be compared to nothing but absolute slavery. 15-hour workdays or longer, minimal food, and often laborers would have to sleep in their stations. After the initial importation of 50,000 Nepalis, no one but a select few had been to the island. The island was under a North Korean-style dictatorship, worshipping Santa as a god. The idea that the only way to escape their hellish life in Santa's workshop was to build more toys and work harder. The harder they worked, the better their life in the afterlife would be. This would go on for decades, as every man playing Santa that died would have another replacement, just as a figurehead to line the pockets of the island's corporate backers. Well, that's all for today's video, a little bit wackier than normal, but I hope you all enjoyed, and if you'd like to not end up in Santa's workshop, don't forget to hit the like on this video, join the Discord, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you all next week.